Hey guys, this is Tonya. I am a divorce coach, and this is my Ask Tonya segment. And the purpose of this segment is to give answers to questions that people need in order to thrive from their divorce. And so I actually had someone inbox me wondering, how do you go from that 2 income to that 1 income? What does that look like? And I actually think that was probably one of the most important questions to ask, because finances hit very huge in a marriage and your income drops tremendously. You know, in a woman's household, you know, the income drops to about 41%. And that is a huge chunk of change that's leaving your home. However, that doesn't mean that just because that happened, life can't go on in a good financial position. However, in order to do that, you have to be intentional and you have to have a plan. And so today I'm going to talk about financial survival. That's actually going to be a 2-part. I'm going to give 3 tips on each, but we don't want to just stay in that financial survival mode. Okay. We want to thrive. And so that's going to be another piece that I'm going to talk about in another video. But today I wanted to focus on survival simply because for some people, this may not be something that you're used to. And so you need to know some basics to get you started. And so I know this all too well simply because I had to do this too. I had to go into a financial survival mode. I had to, get my finances in order because, we did have 2 incomes and it went down to 1 when we decided that this was no longer working. Okay. And so I'm going to give you guys 3 simple tips to start. Okay. The very first start that you need to do is start now. Okay. I know that might not be what you thought that I was going to say. However, many people don't start right away. And it could be several reasons as to why. It could be that this is new for you. And sometimes when things are new for us, we tend to not want to face it because we feel like, man, I don't know what to do and I don't know where to start. That can be one of the most challenging steps to take because right now you could be in an emotional state of mind. You may be hurt right now. Well, you're not thinking about the money. You're not thinking about that. You're just thinking about, your current emotional state. And when you are very emotional, you don't think about other things that are going on around you. And finances is one of those things. Okay. And this is what we don't want. We don't want to wait when something tragic hits and you are really in a frantic. Because what ends up happening is that you find yourself being desperate where you're almost subject to do absolutely anything, take any type of income just to stay afloat. Yes, I know that you have to do what you got to do, but that's not what you want to do. So we want to go ahead and start now instead of starting later. The next thing you want to do is you want to get educated. Guys, this is 2018, right? And knowledge is at the tip of your fingers. It was times when we had to go to the library, buy all these books. But now, with your phone, online is a very powerful tool. And many of us don't take advantage of all the information that we can learn. Now, I know that it can be an overload of information. So I'm going to give you guys a few things what you can start doing. You can start reading articles simply on money, like how to start saving, or just type that into a Google search and it'll come up with a couple of different, a lot of different things that you can get information on. You can take online courses that are already packaged. That way you don't have to worry about doing your own search. You can go to places like Udemy, places like Khan Academy, because those are places where it's already packaged, it's already in modules, and you can start learning and getting educated on learning about why your money matters and how you can start getting you a plan together as well. You got YouTube channels. One of my favorite YouTube channels is from this financial expert called Rob Wilson. And his YouTube channel is robwilson.tv. I actually think that he's a great financial expert because he's not your conventional expert. He don't just talk about budgeting. He talks about making your money work for you, where you can see your money grow. Okay, as opposed to you living paycheck to paycheck. So he takes you to that thriving piece that I was talking about earlier. Podcasts, podcasts are very popular now. There's a podcast almost on every subject. And there are podcasts that you can find about finances. And when you start allowing yourself to learn about it, it just becomes a part of your lifestyle and you become more at ease on how to deal with your money and why it matters. Now, if it becomes too much for you by yourself, get you a financial professional. Don't try to figure it all out on your own. If this is new for you and this is a bit of a challenge for you. You could be in an emotional state where you're not really thinking completely clear right now. Get you somebody who is thinking clear, who's thinking about your future and thinking about your finances and letting you know, like, what is it that you really have going on right now? Because sometimes when you're going through a divorce, it's so much that changes. And it's hard to tap into all these areas. So get some help. Bring somebody in so they can help you stay on track. All right. The third thing that I wanted to talk about was you setting a realistic budget. I know that many people don't budget, or I would say I don't think it's that they don't budget. I think that, you know, when you convert from a 2-income to a 1-income household, sometimes I don't think people understand the change that makes in your bills. And having a budget, you know, can cause you to be an emotional spender. All right. Prime example, I was watching Oprah. This was a while ago. And this is when 9/11 hit. And there was a lady who lost her husband in the 9/11 attack. And she had got a lump sum of money. However, she spent it all just on things that she really didn't have to, spend. And it caused her to really not have anything to show for it. And so when you are having a budget, it doesn't mean to not do anything. Because I think sometimes that's what we think when we think about budget. We be like, oh man, I can't do nothing. That's not true. A budget just allows you to stay in your means. It lets you know, can you afford this house right now? Can you afford this car? Are you able to still be able to keep up with the household expenses even after this divorce? So having a budget just gives you more of a clear vision on where you are and allowing yourself to eliminate things that you just honestly can't afford right now, or even paying off any debt or anything of that nature. Okay. And so those are my 3 tips. Okay. And I'm going to say them again. I want you to start today. Okay. If you haven't started, go ahead and start today. How can you start today? You can start just getting educated. Here, you have what I call the smartest thing, and that is a phone. And so when you allow yourself to go to podcasts, go to YouTube, read some articles, take a class online, just so you can start getting into the habit of understanding why your money matters. All right. And then setting a realistic budget. OK, if you are unable to set a budget on your own, allow yourself to get a financial professional. There are some apps out there that are really good too. There's an app called mint.com, mint.com. That's a really good app to use to help you see where your money is going as well, if you're really not a pen and paper type person, if you're more electronic. All right. And those are the things that I just wanted to talk about really briefly. I'm going to do another 3-part series on financial survival. So be in tune for that. All right. For anybody who has questions about this, make sure that you inbox me on my Instagram, and I'll be more than welcome to answer any questions that you may have. All right. I'll see you on the next video.